in the United States you have a higher interest rate that's paid on most of the loans. And in the UK, it's a lower interest rate. And I think at first when investors started looking at that, they started thinking, let's invest inside of the US because it's a higher interest rate. What people have started to find is the US has a little higher default rates than the UK does, so it started to make the UK look a little more attractive.
Hello, we're here with Jeremy Christensen from Millennium Trust Company. Jeremy, how are you?
I'm doing very good. How are you doing today?
Really well.
Good.
Tell us about the summit here. How are you finding it so far?
It's very good. This is our 5th year that we've been here. It's been very productive for us. Millennium Trust Company, as a company, we are a custodian. We do work inside of the United States, based in Chicago, and we've done work in the US, UK, Europe, Australia, and New Zealand. And we're really finding that our business is growing quite a bit in the UK and the Europe over the last few years. And Lend at Europe has really been a big part of that success. We really get our name out, talk to a lot of the managers, the platforms that are here.
Tell us a little bit about what your company is doing.
So Millennium Trust Company, as a custodian, on this side of the business, we do a lot of work with fund managers, where a fund manager will come to us and let's say they buy for 4 or 5 different platforms. Millennium Trust Company handles all of the cash flow that goes through the manager, so cash would come into Millennium Trust Company. We'd make the purchases on their behalf. We would hold the assets, do distributions, make any type of payments, and then we're able to report on a quarterly basis that information. So we'll send out a statement to the actual individual investors. We'll send out a statement to the managers, and that way we provide transparency to the fund. And inside of the U.S., we meet any custody requirements that there are from the SEC.
Tell us about your unique value proposition. What are you guys bringing to the market?
So we have a knowledge that nobody else has as a custodian. We started in this business basically 9 years ago with Lending Club, when Lending Club was first getting started. So we've had the opportunity to grow with this business over time in economies of scale, if you will. So there's nobody else that really has the knowledge set that Millennium Trust Company has when it comes to custody of these types of assets.
Perfect. So you guys based on the United States. Tell us about your experience here in Europe, in London.
So like I said, we've been coming here for about 5 years now. We've got
What are the main differences you see from?
So the biggest difference, I'll tell you, the biggest differences that we see in the platforms is in the United States you have a higher interest rate that's paid on most of the loans. And in the UK, it's a lower interest rate. And I think at first when investors started looking at that, they started thinking, let's invest inside of the US because it's a higher interest rate. What people have started to find is the US has a little higher default rates than the UK does, so it started to make the UK look a little more attractive over the years. So what we've seen is the investors that we work with is now that they're doing a little more investing in the UK, in Europe, Australia, New Zealand, because that looks a little more attractive because of the lower default rates.
Is your company doing anything in particular to handle this Brexit situation, these fears about Brexit?
From our standpoint, we are going to kind of go with what the investment managers want to do. So it's more the investment managers, they take a look at it, they figure out what is the best approach for that, and then we work alongside of them. So we don't directly have a solution for Brexit, if you will. We just work with the managers and make sure that we're flexible and can handle the changes that they need us to handle.
Perfect. Thank you very much for this interview.
You bet. Absolutely. Thank you.